Thank you, Peter. It's great to be here today. Welcome. Thanks for being here. We'll spend a little time today just responding to the article, but most importantly, laying out our plan to clean it up, to clean up the problems that have been highlighted, and frankly, problems I think will be even more evident in the coming weeks and months. As you know, my name is David Pepper. I'm a candidate for Ohio Attorney General. And, you've probably all seen the initial story. The Dayton Daily News laid out a series of problems in the way that fundraising is happening in a particular area around securities panels that consult and bring cases on behalf of the Attorney General. And I won't go through all the details today. You can read the story. I'm sure you have. But let me just, before we go into the way we're going to fix the problem, talk about the importance of fixing the problem. And there are a lot of reasons it's important to fix it, but I'd say there are two ones just to underscore how serious this is and how important it is that this be addressed. The first is the task on the particular issue of representing pension boards. This is among the most serious assignments the Attorney General has, which is being the watchdog for Ohio's pensions. And the billions of dollars in those pensions and the more than 1 million people who have a stake in those pensions. And the area of litigation that we're talking about and that Dayton Daily News story highlighted is basically the effort by the Attorney General working in partnership with firms to be a watchdog for those funds and to seek accountability and recovery when there are instances of fraud or other malfeasance that deprives illegally those funds of their dollars. So this is a huge assignment, very important. We all know the general tenor right now in public debate about how important these funds are and how under stress they are. So this is a very important piece of work that the Attorney General has to do. Now, it happens to also coincide, and this is the challenge, it coincides with, for the law firms involved, one of the great opportunities they are going to have. To put it bluntly, being able to be counsel for a pension fund in Ohio is one of the largest among the largest in the country, is an enormous opportunity for litigation, for national regard as a law firm, and in the end, for fees if you happen to manage a case. So we have this intersection of a very important role combined with an opportunity for law firms, which is enormous in a lot of ways, not the least of which is the ability to make fees on the back end. So the one thing the Attorney General should be very careful about doing is not doing anything to question the legitimacy of that process. We cannot afford, in being a watchdog for that process, for the pension funds themselves to question the integrity of the process, for pensioners to think that that their assets are being used as part of a way to raise money for a politician. And by the way, at the end of the day, we also don't want courts around the country questioning Ohio's strategy of picking counsel and bringing cases. Very specifically, there was a court just last year in federal court in New York that did that very thing in one of these cases and was really questioning the lawyers about how the local counsel at least got selected. When you start as a state with this very important role to play, getting into a position where courts don't trust what you're doing and they think it's tied to politics, that's really dangerous territory when you're here to protect these pension funds and all those who have a stake in them. That's one reason it's so important to get this right. The second thing I'll say is even bigger picture than that. Citizens right now, and they're doing it, I'd say, because they're reading headlines, and the Toledo Blade just sued over CoinGate. Because after 9 years, we aren't getting answers. We've seen the Suarez case. Citizens rightfully are looking at government and saying, is everything pay to play? Is everything, does everything end up becoming corrupt and pay to play? And I believe, for the statewide office holders, the best position in the state of Ohio to make sure that we're enforcing these rules or being a platform and a podium to clean up government across the state at all levels is the Attorney General. And that's why any allegation, any sense, any suspicion, and any actual reality that the Attorney General itself is an office that engages in pay-to-play is very damaging to the overall effort to clean up Ohio government. And that's why, for me at least, the Attorney General needs to be the model of public integrity, have the highest public integrity, so that whether it's a a local official, a sheriff, or whether it's taking on demanding more accountability in CoinGate than we've seen, whatever it is, when the Attorney General steps forward and says, "I'm here to call to the carpet, pay to play, or clean it out, or root it out." By the way, we'll have a lot more to say about this over the course of the campaign. That the Attorney General speaks with credibility because the Attorney General's office itself is absolutely clean and above board and is a model of public integrity. So it's very important to clean this up for that reason. So